for such a long period of time. What was interesting though was education institutions were the first to shut down, and it was the last to open up in terms of all the other services the government opened up. But during the entire 2 years, nearly 2 years now, what we have learned is adaptability. I think everybody should get a pat on the back for whatever every school in its own way has done to ensure that the learning gap didn't stop and the learning continued and the children were able to, learn while the pandemic was still going on. Which means what? In my opinion, I think the form of learning that is going to be the future is definitely going to be hybrid. I think it's not possible for us to go back to just physical classes, and the online classes are here to stay. And with that, I think with schools specifically, the most important aspect that they need to cover is the digitization of the school. While many schools have done it, some have done it to a large extent, but I think now it's the need of the hour, and it's almost hygiene that every institution become digitally able. This can only help to ensure that, like Doctor was saying, that the new gaps that we will see does not widen, and children from all walks of life can continue to get their education that they need. The other important aspect which we feel that towards the fag end of the last decade, that many institutions, schools were not giving equal importance to was the safety and hygiene. Again, it's my opinion that most institutions now will have to start paying extra focus to that, ensuring that they are not only keeping the school environment safe and clean, but also imparting enough knowledge to the children to ensure that they do the same back at their homes and the communities that they live in. This can only help to not only, to stop the spread of this virus, but any other viruses or diseases that, as a community that we will see in the near future. This has also, given us an opportunity to take up the new national education policy, which I think there are multiple other forums that we're going to discuss later on in the day, but also gives all institutions the right time to make those little changes that were required. I know many schools were already national education policy aligned, including my school, Redbridge, but the small changes that we need to do, we can sort of ensure that they are done. The last thing that I would like to talk about, the topic that I wanted to introduce, was what Doctor was saying, was it's not only going to be about academics anymore. The emotional quotient and the social quotient are going to be extremely important. Children for the last 2 years have been listening into so many adult conversations back at their home, and they have almost forgotten how to be children. We may not realize, but this is going to have a very large impact on children in the near future. So I would like to say that in the next year that lies ahead, the two most important things that the school will have to do is to, one, make sure that children unlearn the different adult conversations that they have heard in their homes the last 2 years, and help them to bridge the gap in learning which they have lost in the last 2 years by ensuring that ample time and space and emotional support is given to the students and the parents to ensure that the children are able to get back to speed in the regular classes.
Thank you, Rohanji.